Well, hello and welcome to More Than Footy, brought to you by Bingley. I'm Hayley Faulkner.
And I'm Tom Chadwick. Great to have your company yet again. Hales, how excited are we for Friday night's prelim against Port Adelaide?
It's going to be a packed house. The forecast is looking mwah. And it's not just a game about us, though. There's a couple of people having a milestone.
Yeah, Isaac Heeney and Robbie Fox. Haynes, you're about to play your 200th game. Thanks for joining us on the podcast. Best mates, where did the bromance start? How does a couple of lads from country Tasmania and country New South Wales become best mates?
I can't tell you guys seriously. That's good.
I could see you laughing at me too.
I think when I got drafted, I was driving up and Dennis Carroll told me I was moving in with Sam Murray and Isaac Heeney. I'm like, never heard of them. But then I rang, I had Haynes' number, so I gave him a ring. I was like, I think the reception was really bad at that stage. And I was just like, hello. And then he was trying to talk to me. I was trying to talk to him. And I remember Isaac got off the phone. He was like, who's this weirdo we just drafted?
Legit, Muzz was on the phone with me. And once we got off it, it was legit. It was like, we could have drafted an absolute spook here. Don't know what these blokes like. It seems real weird and real awkward. But ended up being a great fella and has come a long way and played 100 games, which is pretty impressive. And obviously a good mate of mine.
What do you guys get up to outside of the club?
Going for walks, going to the beach.
Long walks on the beach?
Long walks on the beach.
Yeah, right.
Sunsets.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Sunrises.
Holding hands.
Picnics.
Everything. No, I sort of play golf. Isaac doesn't play too much golf unless it involves a few drinks.
A few beers. Then I become a professional.
And then he actually gets better the more drinks he has. We play in the off season at times, and I start off good, and the more drinks I have, I decline, and somehow Isaac just turns into a pro. So
we mentioned earlier it's a milestone for Haynes in the prelim, but earlier this year you played your 100th game, and Haynes presented you your jumper. What did that mean to you?
It was really nice. The milestone itself, I didn't think I would ever play one AFL game, so when I got to 100 games, it was pretty special. And then to have a best mate of mine present my jumper, which was really good. I felt for him, he had to focus on a game, and all he was thinking about, apparently he lost a lot of sleep the night before just trying to say the right things, and then he called me Gorgy Gorge. So Gorgy Gorge. I think
that was intentional, but he was right. Leading up to it, I didn't even focus. I actually did not have any focus on the game, so I was completely focused on the speech to make sure I didn't stuff it up. Had his family there; it was important. I was like, you only get one shot at this, so I was like, I better make it right.
That's really sweet.
So it was really nice. Obviously, the result didn't quite go our way.
You played well,
but I played all right, so it doesn't help much. But it was a pretty special day for him, and special for me to present it too.
And 200 games for yourself this weekend. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's I guess like Foxy growing up, you just want to play one game, and then to be, I guess, a regular outfit in the team and play some pretty consistent footy over my 10 years now, which has gone extremely quickly, and to get up to 200 games is for a club like this is something is very humbling, and it's a special club. It's like I've spoken about before. It's like a second family. You meet some of your best mates and have really close bonds with a lot of the boys and then a lot of the people working at the club too. And it takes a whole organisation. It's a bit cliche, but to really perform each week and to have done it for such an amazing club is something pretty special. And my family, my friends love that I've been able to do it. And like I said, love that I've done it for the Swans.
Of your 199 games, do you feel as though the Giants final was your best?
Hopefully they keep getting better. I think the impact I had and the time of the season, obviously being a final, but the whole significance of that game and to get the boys over the line with a few other amazing players, and it was up there with one of my better games, I think, and but it was up there with one of the better wins I've had as a team.
You're being modest. It was your best game. I'm allowed to say that. Let's 100%. Be honest.
And when you were 10 metres in the air, what were your thoughts running through your head? Did you have any? Jack Buckley grabbed your hand. Did you think that was intentional to almost, nurse you to the ground? Run me through it.
Nothing goes through my head up there. Not much goes through my head in general. I try to play off instinct, and when I've got a clear head, it's things just flow. And in that moment,
did you panic at any point? Did you think your head was going to hit the ground?
I panicked when So I initially knew Kelly was right behind me, and I was like, I want to jump early and potentially either get a free kick or take the ball at the highest mark. And at the highest point, and that was my mindset going into it. And then obviously Buckley and Logan were there, and I was like, I'll just jump into the pack and see what happens, but not expecting to have a hang. Sometimes you see something in front of you and you know you're going to get a good sit, or you're going to try to get a good sit anyway. And this time I wasn't actually expecting it, so I went to take it and got my shin on his shoulder, and it kind of locked in, and then got that extra pop, and that's when I kind of took the mark at the same time, got the pop, and then you lose control. As soon as you get that pop, you got no control at all. And from there, I started to panic a little bit, and as I went down, I was like, I'm leaning on my head here, so I went to tuck, and he's grabbed my wrist and obviously flicked me. So luckily landed on my back and didn't hurt at all. And
your mum actually thanked him on Facebook, saying thank you for, I can't remember the exact words, essentially saying thank you for taking care of my son. Do you think he actually meant to, or do you reckon it was just instinct for him to grab it?
I think when someone's on your shoulders and I think it's off instinct. Yeah. I know that for the whole media and everything else, and he's actually a ripping fella. He's a really nice fella, and if it was intentional from him to try and save me, he's done extremely well, because it all happens within sort of half a second. But I think he was off instinct, and he was grabbing at whatever he could. But at the same time, once I hit the ground, he actually made sure I was all right and checked in. He's like, mate, you're right, you're good. And I was like, yeah.
You're right, you just came off 10 stories.
Yeah, and he was actually, so he checked in with me, which I couldn't imagine most people would do, so especially in the heat of battle. So he's a ripping fella.
Where were you watching, Foxy?
It's quite funny. I missed it. I missed his goal, I think, to start
What
the
were you
third,
doing?
and I missed his one-handed mark as well.
Where were you?
Well, I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was well hydrated.
He's probably at the bar.
At the bar. No, I think I went to the toilet 3 times, and I went back out, and they're like, Isaac's playing a ripper. You missed this. I was like, you're kidding me. Then moved 15 minutes later, missed it again. I'm like, so I was just thinking for last quarter, maybe we'll just go home.
In that case, what was your reaction when clearly you might have seen it on the big screen on a phone when you first saw the mark?
It was crazy. It reminded me when he took that mark over Jesse Hogan back in 2018, and it was quite funny, that story back in 2018. So I was playing knee full and playing down in Canberra. I got this massive sit, got off on someone's shoulder, and then someone spoiled it. So I'm like, I can't wait to tell Isaac and Muzz I've nearly took mark of a year in knee full. And then the next day, Isaac takes mark of a year in the AFL. Actually takes it.
Just to get one up on you. To get one up on you.
He goes from taking nearly mark of a year to taking mark of a year. So
He's taken a few big ones too in the AFL. Was it 18 that you took against Geelong? What was that one?
Yeah, not like yours. Yours is different.
That was a good sit though.
Yeah, you just get... It's crazy. You just sort of just get on top of them, and then any people who sort of gets on top of someone like that, you just lose control, and then you just don't even care about the footy, and somehow you just take the footy, and it was remarkable.
As incredible as they look, I think we were all praying to the gods that you came down safely. I think everybody does when in those moments, don't they?
Yeah.
From the highs to the lows of the season, and we're not going to get you in strife or go back to some dark moments, but when you got suspended early in the year, what was that sort of the week like, and the disappointment of that night?
Yeah, it was a weird one. I've never been. I've had a couple of fines, but never been cited. Never been. Suspended at all. So leading up to it, we thought it was. I thought it was a bit unfair at the time, and hence why we tried to fight it, and thought it was a football act, and went out there to try and fight it and get it overturned and make sure I can play, because I'm a competitor and I hate missing games, and I didn't want to miss. It ended up being a good game as well. The boys tore it up, so they didn't need me, but it would have been nice to be out there. But it was a weird week. It was as annoying as it was a pretty cool experience to go in and have the tribunal and the 2 nights to try and fight it, and just it was just different. It felt at times it was pretty intimidating, because it felt like the whole world was on you, and you were nearly up for. I remember speaking to Foxy. It felt like you're up for murder, sort of thing. Like it was weird, and I'm like just up for a game suspension. But obviously couldn't get it overturned, and a bit frustrating, and felt a bit unfair, and still kind of does. But you got to get over it pretty quickly, and felt like we did that.
Who was the first person you called after you found out that you hadn't managed to overturn it?
I think it was probably mum and dad. I'd say. Yeah.
What were their thoughts?
No, they were a bit frustrated, but they ride the emotions like I do, and if I'm all right, then they're all right, no matter what circumstance is. So I just keep reminding them that it's only 1 week suspension, and there was other ramifications for it, but it is what it is, and if they knew I was fine, then they were fine. So
what do you make of it, Foxy?
Yeah, I was quite shattered for him. I don't post much. I don't say much in the media usually, and I remember I was like so worked up that night when he didn't get overturned. I was going to post something on Instagram, and I'm just
don't do that.
And I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do it. But I was going to do it real subtle, so like there's going to be a meaning behind it. But I get my frustration out, and some people might know, but no, I was actually quite annoyed. But looking at Isaac and how he handled it, and seeing, there's more to life than football in 1 week suspension, and we got the job done, and he handled it well, so I was like, I'm good with it as well. And he did hit a Tasmanian, so I might have been a little bit annoyed.
Oh, yeah. I did too, actually, yeah.
Boys, away from footy, Foxy, congratulations. You got engaged this year to the lovely Beck. How does that feel being a
mature adult?
A taken man all of a sudden?
It's good. It's good. I finally did it. It was a fair while in the making. We were on a Christmas holiday.
Because you were nervous or because you were prepping the ring?
Nervous. So
right.
I actually had the ring for, I think, 11 months.
11 months?
11 months. I got it started last year, and it was just in my wardrobe. And then, so before our family holiday at Christmas time...
Clearly a wardrobe that Beck doesn't go into.
Yeah,
just up high.
Yeah, Beck's quite small, so there's no way
so
she's
I was
finding
just
it.
like, all right, I need to get it cleaned. I'm going to propose over the Christmas break. So I took it to a jeweler. Took it to a jeweler thinking that's going to be like mouldy and dusty. Went and took it to the jeweler, and they were like, it's pristine. Like, who's been wearing this? I'm like, oh, no one. Anyway, so we had this family holiday for 10 days and went to Adelaide, and something happened, and then it was Christmas and people were sick, and I was like, no, not for the right time. Oh, not the right time. The whole time I was carrying it in my pocket just to find the right time. God. And it was the morning we were leaving to catch up with my friends, and I was like, I have to do it now, otherwise I probably won't do it until next year. So we went to the only thing open in Harndorf in Adelaide Hills at 6:30 in the morning was the bakery. So I walked into the bakery, got a sausage roll, walked out. Got a coffee first, walked out, was sitting there, I'm like, just couldn't physically get myself to get the ring out of my pocket. So went back in. This is quite funny. Bruno Mars Marry You was playing over the radio.
No.
Which is like, this is crazy. So I bought a sausage roll. What athletes
Got to
eat.
get the sausage roll first.
Brekkie.
Priorities.
Exactly. Come out, and I'm like, Beck, what song's playing? It's Bruno Mars Marry You. And she was like, yeah, whatever, I don't really care. And then I just pulled it out there, and she was in tears. I'm like, oh no, I've stuffed this up. I've made it way too casual. And she was over the moon, and I got a sausage roll out of it, and everyone wins.
Oh, lovely.
I love that the sausage roll was the highlight.
Haynes, what about you, mate? Is your dog Nala more famous than you?
Yeah. It'd be like your dog.
Correct.
Two Great
I love
Danes.
that you guys both have Great Danes, and you're not the tallest of people.
He's all right.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a lot shorter than him.
No, I know. Who gets spotted first on the street, though? You or Nala?
Nala, for sure.
I would have thought.
Everyone gets drawn to Nala, and I get kicked away.
Has she headed out fishing with you yet?
She's been out in the boat a couple of times. She actually, I took her out one day with Doss, and you'd see it on my Instagram, but there are these whales. We ended up coming across these whales, and there was about 6 of them rolling around, and we were like, oh, they're mating, or they're playing. There's like 6 of them. I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, they were just rolling around in the ocean. It was a beautiful day, a couple of K offshore, and we were there, and obviously had Nala there, and we got pretty close to them, but we just drifted, and they got closer and closer, and we were like, obviously there's the regulations in how close you can get. Yeah. But you just turn the motor off, and anyway, you could hear them. They sound like they honestly sound like you'd think dinosaurs would sound, sort of thing, and it was crazy. And then they just shoot out of the water, and then as they were making these noises, Nala's hanging over the edge like, what's going on here? And we absolutely loved it.
Freaking out?
Yeah, a bit of freaking out. Also, like, kind of want to jump overboard and figure out what these things were. Like, hanging over the edge.
They're they're massive, so
enormous,
terrifying for a dog. Like,
well, yeah, and especially like you'd see 5, 6 of them, and then next minute there'd only be a couple, and then next minute they'd shoot out of the water and like full airborne, slap down. It was pretty cool, and we were pretty close to them.
As we wrap up, boys, as we mentioned off the top, prelim final against Port Adelaide. How's the feeling going into the game?
Yeah, pretty excited. Boys are firing. We obviously one little injury from training, which isn't ideal, but we'll be right with that. And the boys are pumped, and like I said, we're firing. We've been training well. We're the vibe's high. Everyone's excited, and we're looking forward to once again another full stadium. The fans have been absolutely incredible this year, and like the last game was, as you guys know, it was absolutely mayhem, and it was rocking. So hopefully another repeat of that'll be nice.